I hope you know I pack a chainsaw. It's Entertournament of Champions podcast. Sure, that's like the 5th time I've quoted break stuff, but it still counts for something. I'm committed, guys. Maybe at least for this episode. So, I'm Jeff, and I'm joined by Kyle, and apparently I forgot to take my dog's collar off, so you'll hear that sometimes. I'm joined by Kyle. Say hello.
Hello.
All right. I didn't know you were a wind-up monkey. That's great.
Oh yeah.
So JD is here too.
Hi, that's me.
That's right. It's the three amigos. It's us all the time. Every time we come on the show, unless it's one of those times Kyle and I fuck games or whatever.
Yeah.
Which are fun too. Go listen to the one where we did the top five games of the year so far.
Riveting stuff.
The last episode,
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it was totally unpredictable.
Oh,
Almost
absolutely.
made me want to go out and play games.
You would have never seen what the number one
was
coming.
It is certainly not the game on everybody's list.
There wouldn't be a curveball at all or anything.
Yeah, there's no...
Literally, there wouldn't be.
This week, because, Comic-Con just happened, so what better time to do war movies?
Well,
what?
That's what we're going to talk about this week.
All those nerds going to war for their seats in Hall H.
Right. Oh, my God.
that's my number one, seats in Hall H.
Actually, I really love that movie, actually. Yeah.
Great. Shot perfectly.
Oh, yeah. It's captivating. I think it was Terrence Malick did that one?
Yes.
Lots of whispering narrations. Anyway, we'll talk about him in a little bit. In honor of Dunkirk, and if you want to, add in War for the Planet of the Apes, that too, even though they titled it War for the Planet of the Apes, and there's not a whole lot of war in it, which is kind of surprising, but that's what makes it kind of good, actually. So go see those movies, and one of those we might mention, because we've all at least seen Dunkirk.
Right.
So we may talk about that, in a lot. So we're going to do our top 10, our own, each one of us is going to do our top 10 war movies of all time. I think we ruled out fantasy movies or like Starship Troopers or some shit. I think we ruled that out.
The very first question I ask goes, can I put Lord of the Rings in this movie? And you go, let's just keep it to real war. And I'm like, fuck.
Let's just keep it
probably a good call, because this is a pretty broad
It is.
pool that you can pick from, so...
Yeah, some of these are like... There's one, at least, that I put on here that's very political. Like, there's a lot of, not a lot. It's not the whole movie, but there's some courtroom stuff in it. And it's more about consequences in the actual war. In fact, there's not a huge battle scene. We'll get to it. Anyway, what was that?
No, I'm going to protest that one. You're using that one.
Okay, cool. Then I'll just remove it and come up with something else.
Sure. No, I have two unconventional ones where people aren't shooting guns, so hopefully that doesn't make anybody mad.
Nice. I'm pretty much all of these, there's at least one gun goes off. In every single one of them. I can guarantee that.
Okay.
Actually, you know what?
Count as gun?
Sorry, what?
Does a cannon count as gun?
I would count it. In a musket.
All of mine have that too, so never mind.
Well, I guess one of them has more knives than guns, but whatever, that's fine. We'll get there. So we're gonna introduce a new concept for this one, so we can make the episode tighter and kind of make it go. So this is a better, lunch break podcast than a 3-day chore. Sure. That's how it is for me. Whenever a podcast goes an hour and a half, I'm like, oh, I gotta, 3 drives to work for this one. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna introduce something that I totally ripped off from other podcasts, and I don't know what to call it yet. Whether we want to call it, bumping or pushing, where push it. We should just call it push it. Exactly, because at least you can bust out in a song.
But push it real good.
Yeah, can we please call it that? Yeah.
We're gonna call it push it. Okay.
Okay.
So push it means that one of us brings up a movie that another one of us has later on down our list. Like, I'm gonna use a different list so it's not like a spoiler or some shit like that. Okay, so like say, all right, 2017 most anticipated movies. I'm just gonna use that. Summer movies, the one we did recently. Okay. So I don't know. I don't have anybody else's list in front of me, but I have like Atomic Blonde at 6, right? And say Kyle had it at 3, and Kyle would be like, push it. Basically, push it real good. Or you can just say we're gonna push that conversation. It doesn't have to be push it. I just think that's funny. And we're gonna.
I think it's hilarious. Yeah.
We're gonna wait until the person that has it higher on their list brings it up, so then we can all talk about it. That way, it's not just repeating ourselves.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, it honestly, one of my number 10, number 9s is going to be one that's going to be way higher on somebody's list. So that's going to be an example. Easily going to be an example. I'm just going to go in the order that I already kind of planned out for the tournament in the next episode. I already mapped it out because I'm just prepared like that. JD, do you mind going first?
No, not at all. I've got
Okay,
an
cool.
unconventional one. I doubt you'll have it on your list. So,
Oh, okay.
so I go now, right now.
Yeah, number 10, dude.
Nice. Dude, well, I wanted to start off on a lighthearted note because it's going to be kind of a heavy conversation. So I went
Yeah, this was heavy. This is heavy to do homework on. Yeah.
It really was, man. I couldn't really dive into more than one every couple of days, but
Yeah.
I went with one of my favorite Robin Williams performances of all time in Good Morning Vietnam as my number 10.
Awesome. I haven't seen it. Kyle, have you seen it?
Oh man,
I haven't either. No.
Yeah.
it's mostly, I guess, steered improv, which you would expect nothing less with Robin Williams, but they basically, just kind of let him go. And yeah, man, I absolutely love that movie. I watched it recently, right after he passed away.
Oh,
And
boy.
Oh, man.
yeah, I mean, it definitely has its own sense of, there's some lessons and some morals and stuff, but it's just a genuinely funny movie amidst, Vietnam and all
Which
that.
is not, yeah, that's like the least funny war to visit.
Yeah, exactly. So to be able to pull that off, you couldn't have done it with anybody else other than Robin Williams. So just, I just wanted to get that one in there and hopefully maybe get some good conversation going around. I hope you guys maybe watch it sometime soon.
I'm gonna have to, man. I like Robin Williams' work.
Yeah, I've always
Fell
wanted to
off
see it.
Netflix recently, so that's kind of a bummer.
Oh,
It did leave.
okay.
Oh. Maybe it'll come back because they work in cycles and shit.
True.
The Matrix is coming to Netflix and all the trilogy.
Ooh.
My dog's excited about it. He just shook on that one. Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. That's completely random and arbitrary. Matrix Revolutions is a war movie. There you go.
I was gonna add that too, so don't even start with me. The War Against the Machines.
Yes.
Dude, my list was gonna be all fantasy. It's gonna be really, everyone's gonna hate me.
Next up, if we're going in order of the tournament, Kyle, you're next on this one.
Okay.
You're number 10.
It pains me to have a Roland Emmerich film on my list, man. It really does. But The Patriot's a really good movie. It's a really good war
it is.
movie. It takes, and I don't have a lot of this on my, a few of these are okay. That's not true at all. But it takes a really cool concept where they take an actual war and they build like a narrative inside that war that's completely fictitious, So, yeah, Heath Ledgering it up. Mel Gibson's really great in this movie. There's some really heartwarming stuff with like the young daughter who doesn't speak and the sister-in-law that he obviously wants to fuck, all that weird subtext going on. And also it's a great war movie about like the guerrilla warfare side of like the Civil War, where it's not the most historically accurate
American
stuff
Revolution.
going on there. American Revolution. Thank you very much. Woo!
Woo! No slaves in that one.
That would have been bad. Yeah. And it's just, I think it's a good movie. Good bad guy, too. Great bad guy.
Jason Isaacs. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. God, it's been so long since I've seen that one, man.
Put
Such
his
a
face on the
shit
map. Everything I saw him on after, I was like, oh, it's that fucking dickhead from The Patriot.
That's that guy from The Patriot, exactly.
I remember him from Armageddon. He was one of like the scientists in Armageddon.
Really?
That like explains the firecracker and the palm metaphor. Yeah.
For some reason, that escaped me. I don't remember that. I haven't seen Armageddon
You're
though since I was
right. I have
teenager,
that
though.
monologue's going off in my head now.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny.
But yeah, it's a good war movie. And Cannonball takes off some guy's leg. I mean, it's pretty cool.
That part's fucking awesome.
It's so fucking cool.
It's so cool. That movie's great, and it's an honorable mention for me for sure. And I know that's like not a lot of it. Like critically, it kind of did like okay. I think it got mixed reviews, not hated, but it was like I don't know. I don't know why people didn't really gravitate towards it when it first came out. I think they do now, maybe.
Dude, they had a weird like backstory about how he murdered a bunch of people with an axe and so remember that? Like it's a weirdly like dark movie where like he has like it's fucking weird. I like this movie a lot. It's too layered for a Roland Emmerich film who's like poor man's Michael Bay. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, now he just does disaster movies and Michael Bay just does loud action movies.
Yeah.
It's annoying. Anyway, the Heath Ledger though, I watched a documentary recently about him, and that movie was a big fucking deal to him personally because
Cool.
I mean, he's Australian, so Mel Gibson is an Australian deity to them at this time. He didn't have so many scandals, and Heath Ledger was just like that was when he got in his own head. Like, how am I in this movie? I'm not good enough. He was on borderline about to quit the movie because he didn't think he was up to Mel Gibson's level, like at all. And they kind of talked him off the ledge.
Movie.
Oh God, yes, he absolutely killed it.
Has he ever done a bad thing ever? I mean,
Yeah, even if the movie he
act.
might be in is not good, he's amazing in it. Like I like the Order. Is it called The Order?
Oh yeah.
The one where he did with like Shannon Sossamon, whatever her name is in it. The Order. He played like
I don't remember this movie.
2003 movie. Oh yeah. He I saw it a few times when it first came out because I liked it that much for some reason, even though everybody else shat on it completely. 8% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
He's a sin eater, so he would go around and like eat demons and shit. It's pretty nuts. Whatever. Anyway, he was good in that. That's my point. Movie's probably balls now if I saw it. 2003 Jeff doesn't know what good movies are. Anyway, so my number 10 is The Thin Red Line. Just saw this recently. This is a Terrence Malick war movie. Came out the same exact year as Saving Private Ryan, but it was the Pacific side of the war, and also nominated for Best Picture that year. So like you had two movies about the same war, just on different sides of the
Cool. I didn't realize that was the same
globe.
year.
Yeah, same exact year.
That's
It's crazy.
Wow.
Every male celebrity actor that's not in Saving Private Ryan is in Thin Red Line, basically. Every single one of the cast is loaded because that's the kind of talent that Terrence Malick attracts. Sean Penn, Nick Nolte was like a main guy in it. He was a antagonistic kind of authoritative member. He was a colonel, so he just like kept giving like bad orders to people. You need to go over that hill, and just go to that bunker. And they're like, guys, we're outgunned. Like we're gonna get all murdered if we go over there. Well, that's an order. You go over there. Like he told like at least 3 people that were in charge of their infantry to go over a hill, and they all end up dying. You know what I mean? Like he's like the worst colonel ever. Nick Nolte. All right, sorry. That's I'm working on that one. You go over that hill. John Cusack is in it. Adrian Brody, John C. Reilly, Woody Harrelson, Jared Leto, John Travolta, George Clooney,
Jesus.
Thomas Jane. Who else is in it? The lead is kind of Jim Caviezel, as I call him. And there's another lead too. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he was Casey Jones in the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Anyway.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. He was great in this. He was so good in this, and he had a great arc, and so did Jim Caviezel's character. Anyway, character work aside, this is just a gorgeous movie to look at. It's probably like the best camera work you'll ever see in a war movie. And the way that the battles are done are completely unconventional compared to the other movies that we're about to talk about. Like the camera followed the soldiers running a lot. So there's a lot of like, it just feels very chaotic. Like they're raiding one of these Japanese camps, and the camera's just running with the soldiers, and it just like they're just taking down people, and it's fucking crazy, dude. The only reason it's so low though, because this is a favorite for a lot of people, is because Terrence Malick does that whisper narration shit, and it just gets to me, where it's just like the character standing there looking at something, and he's like, "Yeah, I wish I was back home right now." And you're like, what the fuck?
I've never noticed that. I'm gonna go back and watch this, and I'm gonna see if I'm like aware at all.
It's still a really good movie outside of that, though. You have Hans Zimmer scoring this too, and this is celebrated as one of his better scores.
Wow.
It certainly adds like so much emotional weight to what's happening. It's solid all around. So JD is next with his number 9.
Cool. Dude, I need to see The Thin Red Line. That's like...
Yeah, it's good. It's just 3 hours long, but they all are, so.
Yeah. Okay, my number 9 here, it says Furry?
Oh my god.
Furry? Fury. Sorry.
Oh my god, dude. Salt and Pepper called. They want to push it real good.
Oh my god. Dun, 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 dun. Push it real good. I'm going to do it.
Fucking genius.
Okay, so we both get pushed.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we don't get to talk about it right now.
Yeah, I have it way higher. Kyle, where is it for you? Is it 9 for you too?
Right now, yeah, we're synchronizing.
Holy
Our
shit!
menses are synced.
All right, well, guess what? Somebody's about to push mine because my number 9 is Braveheart.
Oh.
Yeah, push that shit. Kidding
Now,
me?
are you only allowed to push it if you have it on your list higher?
Yeah, I have it on my list higher,
Okay,
so
good. I'm glad you do.
fucking pushing it.
Pushing the shit out of it. So that takes us back to 8, which is JD again.
Shit. Okay, this one is Downfall at number 8, or as the Germans call it, Der Underwehr? No, Der Undergurn.
It's dirt for.
Der Underwehr turn.
Jesus Christ. Oh man.
Yeah, that's a great movie, man. Talk about humanizing a monster.
Oh, that's the Hitler movie.
Yeah, that's
Like
the one.
his final
that
days, right?
It's told from a lot of people regard it as very accurate to what actually happened, and
Interesting.
there's not a whole lot of hyperbole. You know, if Hitler does actually make it in a movie nowadays, it's like Inglourious Bastards, where he's even he's even a caricature by Hitler standards and his level of excellence. So it's really, really a great movie, and God, I loved it. I need to rewatch it. It's been a while, but it had to crack my list.
It is on Netflix, dude.
Yes.
That one got so much acclaim. It was nominated for Academy Award for Best Foreign Language Film.
Yep.
And Der Untergang.
Yes,
I think that's how they're
that's
pronounced.
Damn it, I missed.
Sorry, I took
Okay.
German. I at least know phonetically how things should sound.
That's good. I have no idea. I'm only going to butcher that language forever.
So it is German language, right?
Yeah.
So you in German language movies, you tend to gravitate towards those, and especially the ones that kind of tell the stories of Nazis. It's a little strange.
It's a little strange. Don't ever go into my back room. Don't ever do that, because I got some memorabilia back there you don't want to talk about.
Oh my God.
Good stories, both of these, man. I know you watched the other one that I'm going to talk about later.
Yes, I did. It's a taxing movie. Not just. I mean, yes, lengthwise, but I mean just emotionally, it's taxing. It just beats you down. It's crazy. My number 8, and feel free to push if you need to. It's Apocalypse Now.
Oh, okay.
We synchronized there.
Yes.
Well, I would have. Let's see. I can't push it. I'm only one off, so I'm not going to push it.
Oh well, let's just talk. If it's your 7,
Yeah, that works. So.
we'll just gab about it
You'd
now.
be next anyways. Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's just let's do it.
So it's going to take me full circle back to 7. But Apocalypse Now, I put it a little bit low because it does feel. I mean, people again. This is another one. Thin Red Line too. That people are like, this is best war movie ever. I don't necessarily feel that. I mean, obviously, I don't feel the way it's my 8, but I mean, there's parts of it that just kind of drag. Like, I am blown away by this. Watch the theatrical cut first off. The director's cut's ridiculously long, and just introduces way too many slow parts. I have to emphasize that for everybody. The 2.5 hours of the theatrical version is like it's what it needs to be.
It's plenty.
Yeah, exactly. But like the first half of the movie, I'm enthralled by everything. I feel like they rented out an entire continent to shoot this movie.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy how far they go and how much they destroy.
It's what Tropic Thunder was parodying, basically.
Yes, absolutely.
Take that and a real version of making that movie, and that's kind of what they did.
That was on my list for a while as like my fun
drug
pick.
use and all,
Tropic Thunder's an on-man.
Yeah, I have it out as an honorable mention, but it was my 10 for a long time, and then I was like, maybe I should take this a little seriously, I guess.
Yeah, I would have been so mad if y'all showed up to that with your 10. I'm like, what? Okay, mine's Happy Gilmore. There's a war on the fucking green. You fucking assholes.
Don't you remember the battle between the Croc and Chubbs' hand? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, hey man, we're all going through a little war of our own, Murph. I don't know why I went that way.
A warm.
I love the directing in this is just so fucking good. Obviously, it's Francis Ford Coppola in his peak years, around the time he did Godfather and shit like that. And he has said in interviews famously that everybody in the press, everybody was just condemning this movie for being like way over budget. Like they got so much money to do this movie. Obviously, you can tell on the screen. And and all the drama on the set that everybody knew about with Marlon Brando showing up overweight and just didn't give a shit. And Martin Sheen doing drugs. Yeah, Martin Sheen doing all these drugs and
he like overdosed and had like it's all part of it. Like
he had like a heart attack on set. Yes.
Yeah.
And Francis Ford Coppola famously said at a film festival, "This was our Vietnam. This was real to us."
He did say that. I remember that quote. Yeah.
Which is crazy, and I like how deeper in the jungle that they got, the more it felt like you were kind of losing. The movie was losing touch with reality, and Marlon Brando's character just kind of rambles a whole fucking bunch.
It's really surreal. It gets really surreal there at the end.
Exactly, absolutely. I love the way this is a very opening, but I love the way when hungover Martin Sheen is getting briefed, and the way that they film that, where he's trying so hard to focus on these people's faces and everything that's happening around him because he's so hungover and doesn't want to be there.
Right.
I love, by the way, that a lot of these movies that we're going to talk about is like full of like people that are just fucking over the war. You know, like they're just like, I don't want to be here anymore. And that's Martin Sheen to an extent, but at the same time, he already tried to be a normal whatever civilian again, and it just didn't work. Vietnam was all he knew. So that's, but still, he wanted, all the drugs and shit. But he's still kind of fucking over it. Anyway, the point is that it's really good the way that it's filmed. So somebody else talk about this movie. Kyle, if you want to, you were next in the order.
I was peppering in my thoughts kind of on top of yours, so we can have JD kind of pick up for a second. And
it's been a while since I watched this when it's on my list because of pretty much just remembering from like 7-8 years ago when I first watched it.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't have that much to add to it now. I'll save it for the tournament.
Oh, damn. I think I just watched it, basically.
Yeah,
so it's in my head.
It's been a bit since I've seen it, but I've only seen it all the way through one time, and then I've seen it multiple times in sections,
Yeah,
as it's on TV or whatever. So like, it's a movie that like it's in dire need of a complete rewatch for me. But I do recall like the Descent to Madness, which is very echoing of The Heart of Darkness, the book, and all that stuff. So, it's a good movie, man. It's just really long.
Yeah.
And you feel every fucking second of it. It's not like, wow, that last 45 minutes flew by. Nah, like you're gonna look down at your watch, you're like, it's been fucking 10 minutes? Like, so much fucking weird shit's happened, or nothing's happened. I don't really know.
I don't know. That's a good point. Did something happen or did nothing happen? I'm very confused.
I'm not exactly sure. And the river scene is awesome. Like them just getting down the river is. I
love all of that. Yeah, I love getting ambushed, and then they go up to that kind of like old ancient, whatever place that Marlon Brando's character is staying at. Man, this movie big time influenced War for the Planet of the Apes. But so did actually most of these, honestly. I don't know if it's like paying homage to it or just straight up ripping it off at some points. Like I honestly have that internal debate a lot about War for the Planet of the Apes.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, did they just rip off the plot? Or
that's my favorite. No, that's my favorite game. Homage or I don't know. Like, I don't, or rip off.
Yeah.
Like it's a fun game. Like. You can deep dive. Let's see what are his influences in there. Let's see what the roots are.
Yeah, it's man. I'm still debating it, and I've seen it like 3 weeks ago. So whatever.
I need to see that movie. I want to see it in fucking theaters.
It's a good one to watch in theaters for the spectacle of it. Whenever it gets to the spectacle. Of it.
I don't want to go on a tangent about it, but after watching maybe a movie we'll talk about later, Dunkirk. Movies belong in the theaters. He's right.
Yes, he is absolutely. His movies belong in a theater. Yes.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, I'm shooting these on IMAX cameras. What the fuck? Yeah. Where am I going to show these?
I can get like maybe The Big Sick. Yeah, catch that one like on a small screen or whatever. Like, but like, like if you want to fucking watch a Nolan flick or you like Apocalypse Now when it first came out, like watch that. Go to a goddamn theater and watch that shit.
It's meant to be scenic and taken in with big ass screens in your face.
Yeah.
So that goes to my number 7, which is probably going to be another push. It is Black Hawk Down.
Oh, cool.
Pushing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Push.
Yep.
Push it real good.
So what's Kyle's? Or is it Kyle or is it JD next?
I think it's me.
Oh, did I just interrupt Kyle's?
Yeah, you went before me, yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Kyle, what's your 7?
It's okay. I've got the first of 2 Ridley Scott movies. God damn it. You just said one, but I've got a different one. So it's a Ridley Scott off right now.
Uh-oh.
Kingdom of Heaven. Crusades.
Oh, nice.
Orlando Bloom. It's the age-old story of Orlando Bloom trying to fuck Ava Green. Everyone knows it. Do not watch the theatrical cut of this movie.
That's the one I watched. Yep. Didn't like it.
Yeah, it's bad. It's a bad movie. The director's cut is a completely different movie. They cut out a whole entire subplot that's so imperative to the movie that is the reason for so many character motivations, and that's why the original movie makes no sense.
Interesting.
I've
Yeah.
almost
back
fell
that up?
asleep in the theater watching that movie.
Oh, okay.
I've
yeah.
never seen the director's cut though, so I
It's super.
definitely
Well,
need to
Ridley
check that out.
Scott weirdly always nails it his second time around. He's like, you know what? Let me get back in the editing bay. You know, redo this one. He really nailed it that time around. It's a good movie, and the war scenes are fucking amazing in this movie. And it's right. It kind of came out in between, I think, Two Towers and the last one, Return of the King, or it may have come out after Return of the King. I'm not sure, but it was during that. Like, we were very used to seeing huge, battles on screen with like a lot of body counts and whatever. And this movie really delivers. A lot of great siege scenes, and you're seeing the big war machines at play. And I think it really captured like that time like really well, and just how shitty of a like situation it is for a lot of those people, just like being like starved out and then fighting for what you believe in only to get stabbed in the face or whatever. It's just what a fucking brutal time.
Yeah, the Crusades were a weird time.
Yeah, super
really weird.
Yeah.
What I believe is slightly different than you. Like, it's all right.
Well, yeah, and there's a lot of that, and I think that the movie really captures what the war was about, like, in a greater scope of things by again like creating this fantasy story that's kind of happening during this time that echoes what the greater scope story is. So I thought, I don't know, it's a good movie if watched in the appropriate version. So
there's some of that in. I mean, granted, it looks like these are actual real people, the characters, fictionalized versions of historical figures in Kingdom of Heaven. But I watched Master and Commander too because that's a Napoleonic Wars movie. All fictionalized characters though. But it's the setting is the Napoleonic Wars, and I found that very fascinating. Great movie, by the way. Has anybody seen that?
I have not.
Oh,
Kyle, it's up your alley, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it in the theaters, man. I love the Weefles line, dude. That's one of the funniest parts of the movie. The lesser of two Weefles.
Yeah, that was great. There's humor peppered throughout it. Like, I thought it was 2003. Jeff was like, this boring ass ship movie. I mean, who gives a fuck? And man, it was meant to kick off a franchise because there's like 9 or 10 books. It didn't do that well to do that, but it did get like nominated for Best Picture. Everybody liked it. People wouldn't stop talking about it in podcasts I listened to. It's great. It's really great. Fantastically shot, like battle scenes with ships and shit. Anyway, Kyle, that was your 7. I already said my 7 was Black Hawk Down, so that brings us back to which was pushed. We're pushing the shit out of it. We're getting that shit pushed in. It's bad. So we're going to JD's number 6.
Okay, cool. It's another one of those German movies that that I love so much. Das Boot.
Das Boot. Sorry.
This I haven't seen. Jeff, you told me about the 5-hour uncut version.
Yes,
of this
but
movie?
they pushed.
Shoot me.
Yeah, they aired it as a miniseries, so it was like at least watchable that way.
Okay.
Yeah,
that makes more sense. But 3.5-hour director cut, man. Talk about just a complete experience of being claustrophobic and just feeling like there's no way out at all. And it's another movie. It's in German, so you're gonna have to deal with subtitles. But
reading.
But it's so good, man.
And Glorious Bastards was a fucking chore enough.
That was pretty bad.
Yeah, I had to hear multiple languages while reading English. It was so fucking confusing.
It's worth it though, man. It's one of those movies. If you're a fan of the genre, gotta watch it.
If you're a fan of accuracy
top
too,
10 list.
The movie takes pride in its accuracy on how U-boats operated.
Yeah,
and how they
571.
The way they designed the set was like a fucking real, it's like a real submarine, and they filmed it with like handheld cameras so they can move around and stuff because there wasn't room for the gigantic cameras that you normally get for these types of movies. Because they wanted to be accurate, they got it really fucking small, and it's tense because you can't see a fucking thing when you're in a submarine. That's scary as shit.
And
anything
that penetrates you, you're all dead.
Exactly. Everybody's like trying not to. It's just so many quiet, like it's just fucking intense, palpable like scenes, like because it's just a lot of scenes and stuff like that. Because everybody's just trying not to freak the fuck out because they don't know what's up there or where it is exactly or what they're throwing down on them in terms of like mines and shit like that. That's an intense movie. It was just, it was a 3.5 hour experience. I'm glad you like pushed it on me though. It was good. It was
Yeah,
good.
definitely a better watch in my opinion than The Deer Hunter, which was your asking me whether or not you wanted to watch one or the other.
Oh yeah. Okay, interesting.
I mean,
all right. I
still
did hear
go
that was a
watch The
long
Deer
one.
Hunter.
Yeah.
But that one's, I mean, Das Boot is...
That's an honorable mention because it stuck with me. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
It's
That's
a
awesome,
strong
man.
one. And so, Kyle, you're 6.
My 6 is the horribly historically inaccurate but awesome Braveheart.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we
Cool.
didn't
Yeah.
push that far. Cool.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah,
Oh,
that was
yeah,
my 9. Yeah.
It got pushed. Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, we can talk about it now then.
Yay.
Fuck
you, JD, for not having it.
Yeah, come on, JD, what the fuck?
Hey,
The first thing, I'm not gonna go.
Not German.
Yeah, right. I'm not gonna dwell on all the historical inaccuracies. But
No,
just the
yeah,
one up,
not at all.
Just the one up front. He was always a nobleman in real life. He was never a commonsman who's like, we're gonna fight against, like, Rage Against the Machine or whatever. We're gonna fight against Order. No, you were Order. You were a nobleman. Whatever. Anyways, great movie. Awesome war scenes. I remember when this movie came out, people were freaking out about, like, did they really kill horses in this movie?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, no, there's this thing called CG. We can just, like, fake hurt them now. And everyone was like, it's still horrible. People couldn't wrap their heads around it because it looked so real. And it did. You know, I watched this movie really recently. It still looks good. Eerily good. They were really back then it was like $1 million like a second to, like, CG like some
Right.
of the stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, it's just to, like, they really got a lot out of their money, I would say, because it still looks good to this day. Huge multi-body, like, I mean, this is like before Lord of the Rings came out. Like, this was like a huge, like, hundreds of extras, thousands, all on this, like, these fields of battle, and they're just, like, really, really, like, big
Almost
in
as
scope.
much as Dunkirk, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And just fun. The movie's fun. Story's good. Mel Gibson's awesome. Like, that was back when he was, like, we all liked him.
Yes, it was.
Remember that? Y'all remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that, the 90s, when it was like,
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon sequels and What Women Want? That was fun.
Take me back, please. I just really enjoy this movie. It's just it's a good old movie with some good old music.
The only reason I like the music a lot too. The only reason it's not higher for me is because of it's a very traditionally told biopic. Whereas I feel like, I mean, directors like Christopher Nolan always change it up in terms of timeline. Like, we'll see when they're younger a little bit later on in the movie, and then we'll see when they're older.
Yeah.
It's just traditionally told story beats and stuff. The ending's powerful. The battle scenes are fucking awesome. That's why it's in my 10, dude. Like, the battle scenes are just... They're brutal, but also just, I mean, big in scale. And that's what they needed to be at this time.
How did people not just kill anybody around them? I would just, because they're not even wearing, like, I guess they're wearing uniforms and you're kind of not. You're wearing kilts or whatever. But, like, if anyone was in my periphery, I'd be swinging that sword at them. Like, get the fuck away from me! So, yeah, it's so amazing to me how people fought back then. Like, in this and my previous, like, Kingdom of Heaven, it's like, how the fuck, like, close proximity. We have the luxury of shooting people from far away now, where you don't have to, like, see, like, the whites of their eyes or anything like that. It's much different. Not much different than it's just.
And the timeline-wise, the Patriot had that weird-ass war strategy that we implemented, where we're standing a little bit far from each other and shooting at each other.
Marching towards
so
each
weird.
other with a whole band of music playing at the front. Like, what the fuck's that all about?
So we were kind of still doing what they did in, like, in Braveheart times a little bit, standing in a line and just kind of doing things. But now it's just like all out fucking, I think they're hiding, it's everybody's going all stealth now.
Yeah, right.
Kind of miss those good old days.
Yeah, just stand out in front of me and let me shoot you.
Yeah, let's just stay still real quick. No shield.
Pick up that flute and play that flute for me while I shoot at you.
Be the flute guy in Civil War or American Revolution. Jesus. Braveheart's really good though, man. I watched that for the first time like a few months ago. It's really good.
Glad that it holds up.
The battle scenes I was just blown away by. Like, holy shit to all that. And the ending, I love the ending. It's good.
Oh yeah. Freedom!
It should be like a giant bummer ending, and it's like totally not, because I mean, his message got out there. It got to somebody important that had the army to do what they needed to do, and they got liberated. So I mean, technically, it's a good ending. So that's my number 6 is next, and it is Platoon.
Oh,
Platoon?
I'm gonna have to push that, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna push that one as well, man.
Oh, holy shit!
Good.
All right,
JD knows what he's doing, so.
There we go.
all right, cool. So next up is JD's number 5.
Okay, well, this is why we're all here. My number 5 is Dunkirk, guys.
You're probably gonna have to push that one a little bit.
I'm gonna have to push that.
Should probably push it.
I'm gonna push that one.
So Kyle, you're number 5.
What a interesting idea this is.
I know, right?
Another little Ridley Scott classic called Black Hawk Down. I guess.
Nice, dude.
Awesome.
Nice.
Number 7 for me. So yeah, we're good.
Cool.
And
All right.
JD's just sitting there again, not having it on his list.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. That's why it's his list.
It's not okay.
It's wrong, but that's why it's
Okay.
his list.
Wrong.
Wrong.
It's just it's been
Needs
too
more
long.
balls.
It's been
So
too
we
long
should,
since I've seen it, man.
We should probably call the pushing concept wrong. Wrong. Gotta talk about it later.
Oh God.
Wrong. We'll talk about it later. Wrong. Your placement.
Wrong.
Incorrect.
Oh boy.
Okay. Yeah. Black Hawk Down though. Yeah. What an intense fucking movie. You know what I really like about this movie? There's no red shirts in this movie. Not that it's like completely historically accurate, but no extra people died just because it was cool to kill people.
Yeah.
Like everyone who was shot where they were shot, how they were shot when they were shot, you know? Like everyone who died where they were supposed to die when they died. Maybe not exactly, but like most of the facts were there. Most of the things were lining up.
I did not know that. I did not know that at all.
So it's not like just like, you know, Soldier B over there just got shot in the middle of the street. You know, no, like there were only so many people that were like touched down in that battle. It wasn't like a huge 1,000 person army like in that city or whatever. You know, it was a few small teams, squads, if you will, you know, so there wasn't a lot of people to just die. What, I think 18 people or something like that were killed or injured. I forget the numbers. Don't let me foul up numbers like that. But so let me just steer away from that. But yeah, like there wasn't that many. It wasn't like a massive casualty. And
yeah, it wasn't a big operation anyway.
You can count, like, I mean, like you probably remember all like the major deaths or the major moments. You know, the classic scene where they're trying to get like the shrapnel out of that guy's like leg or whatever, and it's just fucking, what a gross fucking scene. Intense, you know. You know, a lot of humanity going on in this movie. Besides Eric Bana's character, who feels kind of like a superhero sometimes, but you know,
Yeah.
you kind of need that sometimes. Where he's like, I'm going back out there, you stay here, you know.
What the fuck?
Nah, you stay here and eat. I'm gonna go out there. Yeah, just he seemed kind of like you know, like the hero or whatever.
Yeah.
In a situation where it seemed like so many of the soldiers had no idea what was going on or what to do because there was so much chaos going on. Because the whole city like turns on them. You know, it's just like one moment it's all peaceful, the next like everybody's trying to kill you. You know, it's just what an intense movie. And the idea that they have to go back and like get, you know, the bodies or secure the equipment and everything. You know, it's just
Stressful.
like extra stress, extra weight. You know, what a great movie, man. You know, Ridley Scott really did well. He didn't need a second chance on that one. There's no director's cut of that movie, you know, so...
Yeah, he didn't need one. It's a 2.5 hour battle scene. So the entire movie is just one of the most unrelenting war movies ever made. I watched it again recently. When I first saw it, I was just kind of like, whatever, war movies, whatever, you know, because I was young at the time, so I was just like, whatever. But watching it again, you're like, Jesus Christ, it's just, can I breathe for like 2 seconds? Yeah. Everybody's either dying or dead, like, the entire movie. It's just crazy. And they're, like, looking over every corner. Like, they just have no cover, no realistic good cover at a certain point when shit hits the fan. Man, it's just, yeah. And it's just one of those things, too, where, like, when you read the end of it, where they explain what happened with the mission, that like the president of the United States pulled all military personnel from the area shortly after the mission fuck up. You know, like it's like of course he did, because it's that bad. You know, like it's that bad over there. It's not even worth saving.
Yeah,
that's pretty crazy. Yeah, it's good, man. It's really good. Star-studded too. It's one of those thin red line scenarios.
It's so star-studded that they're just like, man, I don't even know what to do with Orlando Bloom's character. Just throw him out of a helicopter and break his neck the first 10 minutes of the movie.
And it's funny because like Thin Red Line has a lot of that too. There's no, despite the title, there's no red shirts at all either. You have Woody Harrelson shows up, and then 5 minutes later he's dead. You're like, what the fuck? It's crazy.
Is he Grenade Guy?
I think so. Yeah.
Who's the guy who gets blown up by the grenade? Yeah, that's like the
Woody.
worst death. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And that was like one of the first ones too. So like they were just about to go into battle. It's awesome. So that takes me to my number 5, which is kind of one of the more unconventional in terms of like war, but this is still one of the best ones ever made. It's Paths of Glory. This isn't one that a lot of people have seen because it's kind of older. This one came out in like 1957, which isn't even. It's not even that long. Well, actually, I think it's a World War I movie. Let me check my facts. I was about to say World War II, but I think that's wrong. I think this is a no man's land story. Yes, it is. It tells a story. It's not a foreign movie, but it does tell the story of the French army during World War I, and Kirk Douglas plays Michael Douglas's father when he wasn't old as dicks played. The commanding officer of French soldiers who refused to continue a suicidal attack. So how that goes down is they basically one of the commanding officers basically Kirk Douglas's boss in this movie was told by another person above him, you guys need to go to battle in no man's land basically and try your luck at facing the was it the Germans at the time? I think it's the Germans, right? Can't remember. Anyway, you need to go there, and the higher up's like, no, that's a suicide mission. I'm not gonna do that. But I'll promote you. Okay, fine, we'll go do it. That's it's basically all authority figures are assholes in this movie. It's an anti-war movie, which is the only type of movie that Kubrick ever made when it came to war, which we'll talk about a little bit later too. Even for this time period, there's a great scene where they're like trying to try to sneak across. I think it's called Ant Hill, not No Man's Land, but I'm pretty sure they threw that around in the movie. So did Wonder Woman. They're trying to like walk across it, and just the way it's shot, it just doesn't feel dated. It doesn't feel like, oh, we're on a soundstage right now in the 50s. It felt like they were legitimately doing a battle. And when all the soldiers realized that the war was lost and they started turning back, that's when one of the French commanders or whatever was like, okay, we're going to put these guys on trial for running away, for cowardice. And there's a giant bummer ending. One of the biggest bummer endings ever. Kirk Douglas tries to fight for his soldiers and loses. So, sorry for spoiling that. But that's the truth of it. Like, when you run away from battle, that's how the system treats you. They line you up in front of a firing squad and kill you. It's fucked up, but that's what the movie was trying to show you, is that it's really fucked up. We should change our ways. And, it's great. It's got one of the better endings ever. In any war movie, so yeah, awesome. Wow. Go see that bummer of a movie. So what's powerful? Wrong. JD, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is one that I don't know if I should even have it on my list or not, but it's a great movie. It's sad, but
sad.
It's sad. Wrong. I know it's not a traditional war movie, but I put Schindler's List on this list.
JD's list.
Got a war setting, and we need list representation within the list. Duh. Without that movie, we wouldn't have lists.
Exactly.
So, everybody knows that lists started with that movie.
A little history for you guys there.
little bit of history, thank you.
Yeah, not commonly known. He had a top 10 list of Jewish people he was going to save.
Yeah. Top 10. He even had a little tournament too. So.
And Ben Kingsley won. There you go. That's how the movie goes.
Yes, he did. Man, I wanted to put this one on there because I this was probably one of the first movies in this genre or that really dove into kind of the atrocities of war that I ever saw. I mean, we watched it in school, at least parts of it.
So it really on cable, uncensored.
Stuck with me. You watched it on cable, uncensored. So
Dude, do you not remember that they used to air it like once a year, uncensored on television?
I do. They would air it on like ABC or something. Yeah. Get to see all that dong.
That's where I saw that shit. I was just blown away.
Yeah. Man, I mean, it's stuck with me, and I think that's one of the aspects of war that you really need to focus on, is not the actual battle itself, but the collateral damage of hate and fear, and that portrays it better than a lot of other movies on my list, I think. So, and didn't we consider Amon Geth as one of the best villains. Wasn't he on one of our lists? Or
Yeah, he was on my honorable mentions or something.
Yeah. Just now, I can't remember. That wasn't a real guy in real life, right? That was.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that was fictitious.
It wasn't like Wonder Woman that used a real World War One German commander, and suddenly, and he's like, I don't, whatever. That was a weird thing, a weird choice for them to make. But anyway, that was an honorable mention for a long time, and then I was like, oh, there's no actual war in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, and I struggled with that, but I couldn't gratefully put it like below Good Morning Vietnam.
Yeah,
I mean, I had to try to rank quality of movie here, and that's on my top of all time.
That movie's amazing. It's incredibly difficult to rewatch, though.
It is, and that's what's kept me from doing it.
Honestly, dude, I think that's the best movie to exist that you can't rewatch.
Yeah, it's up there.
Honestly, like you think about like watching it again, and you're like, no, I don't want to see any of that. But that movie's amazing.
Yep, I would agree.
Fun fact: in the post-production for Jurassic Park, Spielberg did that movie. That's what's crazy, right? Like they came out the same year, and that movie won Best Picture, of course.
Wow.
Great pick though. Okay, so Kyle, you're number 4.
My number 4, we pushed it earlier. Platoon.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's Platoon. Who did I push it for? Was it you?
That was me. I had it at
Jeff.
6.
Yeah.
I could push it again, but what's the point? I'm only one more up, so
Is it your number 3?
it's my number 3.
Okay,
nice.
we can talk about it. Yeah, we can
Let's talk about it at 3 then.
that shit now.
Okay,
we'll
let's
talk about it. We'll talk about it at 3. Push it. All right.
Let's keep it going.
Push it.
And we're probably gonna push this one too. My number 4 is Dunkirk.
Yeah,
Okay.
push it.
Okay, we're pushing that shit. All right. So JD at number 3.
All right, Platoon. All right, you guys told a surprise, right? Now let's talk about it.
I'm totally shocked right now. You didn't even.
I know.
No warning. We had no warning at all.
Man, that's one that I watched for the first time a couple years ago when it popped up on. I think it popped up on the Flicks not too long ago. It's fun to remember that Charlie Sheen was not a train wreck.
Yeah, that's times.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have any
one.
Apocalypse Now stories of Martin Sheen's son doing coke or getting a heart attack on set. That's for sure.
That's true. He was doing all that stuff offset, so he was
it's interesting that
much
they're
more
both in
professional than the dad.
they're both in iconic Vietnam movies too.
Right.
Because like I remember like growing up that I had like friends' dads who would all be like, "Oh yeah, Platoon's easily the most realistic Vietnam movie that's out there." In terms of just like all the little stuff. Like one detail that I had 2 different fathers bring up is that whenever you step on one of the claymores and you like start like the person starts clapping or whatever, like that's something that they actually did, and I forget what the reason why was, but like just the little stuff like that, like the little tiny details that are the troops are doing in the background or that people are saying, the lingo and stuff like that. It's all like really, really, really spot on.
Yeah,
that strikes me as Oliver Stone doing his homework.
Yeah, of course it is.
He's all about that shit, accuracy. Well, sometimes. I mean, telling a story subjectively, but getting the objective little details right.
Yeah.
Right.
Great movie, though. I love the
Another
ending.
good cast in this one. Definitely not quite to like the level of some of the other ones we talked about.
Dr. Cox is in this.
Yeah, Dr. Cox. Fucking Johnny Drama's in this one. Kevin
Oh,
Dillon.
yeah, he is. Oh my god.
Victory! Not really.
Yeah, I know, right?
Tom Berenger's fantastic in this movie.
Yes.
I can't remember, honestly, like, if you give me a Tom Berenger movie that's, like, a better performance, I just feel like you'd be lying to me.
Major League. Done. Put it in the bag.
No.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
People are like, Sniper or something. I'd be like, come on, get the fuck out of here.
Just even like the quiet scenes where they're all like doing drugs or whatever, or and then to the louder scenes, like whenever they come upon that village and like have to make some like shadier than life decisions. It just really encapsulates that war and like how unsure everybody seemed, being there and what they were doing and everything like that, which just seems like is kind of a common thing for like Vietnam movies.
This is one of the rarer Vietnam movies to have the protagonist, Charlie Sheen, his character, go into the movie feeling optimistic or like he wants to make a difference in a militaristic way, not in like a I'm going to make a difference by spreading my peace around, making peace.
Right.
Not like that, but like he wants to go kill, Vietnamese people.
He believes in it, like.
Yeah, and then you see him lose his grip when he starts to make that one-legged man dance, which is a great scene. It's fucked up, but it's a great scene.
Yeah.
And yeah, just the whole idea of your enemy not really being who the authority figure tells you it is. You know, it being the person that's standing next to you when you're on the battlefield. That was incredibly well done in this. Obviously, that's a story that you might have seen before, but it's just not in any of these movies, at least. But it's just so well done in this movie. Holy shit!
It is,
Tom Berenger's so good in it. God, he's so good in this movie. So that was Kyle's or JD's 3.
4.
Yeah, it was Kyle's 4 and my 3. Yeah.
So
No, Kyle's, right?
3.
My 3 is Dunkirk.
Oh,
Ooh,
nice.
All right.
We can talk about Dunkirk.
Yeah.
Or can we?
Are you pushing it?
Wait. So it was my 4. JD, where was it for you?
It was 5 for me.
That's
so
right.
You guys
Okay,
pushed,
you did have
you
it
guys
lower.
pushed it. So
Okay.
yeah.
3, 4, 5. Yeah. Well,
sweet.
look at
Cool.
that. Yeah. This movie, huh?
Movie's okay.
God.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Let's
What
just
the
block
fuck?
out 10 minutes on this one, man. That was one of the best fucking things I've seen in a
I
theater in
think-
a long
So
time.
I think in like 2 years, even maybe 3 years from now, we're gonna look back and go, that may be one of the greatest war movies of all time and needs to be higher on all of our lists, just on a technical
Might.
standpoint. You know, like how did they shoot this movie? They really went out and like shot down planes, you know, and like crash landed them in real water. You know, like,
they split a
what
ship in like half.
What
No.
the fuck? Yeah, they really sank ships in this. How? How did they do some of this stuff? You know. What a just an ambitious movie that just feels, it never feels fake. There's never a moment of like CG where you're like, oh wow, well, there's something about you right there. Like
Nothing
you never
kills the
get
immersion.
nothing exactly. There's no immersion killing. It's just you're so sucked into it, especially when you're in Tom Hardy's plane.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Which I saw a meme earlier. Busiest eyes in Hollywood right now
Yes.
because they're always that guy in a mask. He's
Yeah.
in Mad Mask. Yeah, Mad Max is in a mask with Bane. He's in a mask in this. Just like the guy can't get away.
Mad
from that.
Max. That's really hard to say.
Mad Max. Yeah, just super, man, just a fucking great movie.
Mhm.
What a score.
What
That
a score!
shit.
You know what I liked
know
about the
Hans-
score, though? I'm going to say, like, Hans Zimmer with Interstellar, it's a very melodic, like, it's memorable. There's several phrases to each of his songs in there.
Yeah.
Inception has the best song he's ever written in it, like, melodically speaking, in terms of, like, how dynamic it is. But in this one, it's just literally accenting what you see on the screen. It's not overtaking what you see. It's adding to it. It's adding to the suspense. With the ticking clock as like a motif.
Oh, the ticking clock was great.
And you feel the urgency because of his score, and you feel the triumph. Which, I mean, kind of spoilers on. If you know what happened in Dunkirk, you know what happens in this movie. When all those ships arrive, and the horns come in, and it's just so fucking triumphant, and I get chills talking about it. Like, it's such a great, powerful moment. Especially having an actor of Kenneth Branagh's stature reacting to it.
He killed that scene.
Yeah.
Like, he just, oh my God.
I call him Captain Lookup because he's always looking up at shit.
Yeah. Where's the Air Force?
He's always looking at, like, oh, there's a plane coming. Oh, there's another plane coming. Oh, there's the ships coming. It's just, but he's great at it. It's not a bad thing. It's just an observation.
Whoa, there's like 20 spoken words in this entire movie.
Yeah,
Or
it
20
feels
spoken
like it,
lines.
yeah.
Oh,
And who? Okay, I'm gonna ask you who is Harry Styles in this movie? Which one is it? Because I like purposely didn't like.
He's
look
the
it up
one
so I
that
didn't
the
want-
two guys at the beginning run into when the ship is going down, and he joins them underneath the dock. Like, he joins.
he's the
them
one
underneath the dock.
calling out his buddy for being a spy. In the,
He's
when
the
they
kind of
finally
the rude
get to
dude. He
the
ends up being kind of like the rude dude.
Yeah, he's a British guy.
Like,
He's in the train at the end. Spoilers, I guess, on the end for everybody. But he's in the train at the end. Yeah.
So so not only are there only 20 spoken words, he has half of them.
He
kills
talks a
it.
lot.
And he does really good.
Yeah.
He's fucking great.
He displays urgency when he needs to, and Nolan made the right call, man. He did.
He absolutely did. And I had quite the journey because the first guy I see on screen, I was like, this guy's Harry Styles. And I was like, he's doing really good. I think he's doing really good. And then you see a younger boy, like, on the ship, and I'm like, nah, this guy is Harry Styles.
So the whole time you're like, everybody's One Direction.
Yeah. And then the guy that you see, like, under the dock, never in a million years thought that was Harry Styles.
That's funny.
So who ended up being Harry Styles? I never assumed that was him.
It's hilarious that
people kept asking me. They're like, "How did he do?" I'm like, "I don't know which one he was, but everyone did good in this movie."
Exactly.
So
Just take solace in that. I think it's funny that I sat next to people that were pretty much there for the Harry Stylesness of it. Two women. They were younger women though. So it kind of made it added up. It would be weird if they were like moms or whatever, but I'm not going to judge.
Yeah.
Anyway, they were clearly there for that, like just kind of nudging each other when he showed up on screen. And by the end of it, they were just like, "Whoo!" Like they took a breath. Like they were wowed by it too. So I mean, this movie can stress out and like
so
everybody.
many scenes where I was like, "Oh, I was holding my breath that whole time."
And then they go to the next scene, and you're like, "Oh, we're doing this again. Like we're stressing us out again."
I'm about to pass out because I'm hyperventilating. Apparently.
I told Jeff I bought a large soda and I took one sip the entire movie.
Yeah.
I was that locked in, man.
Yeah,
that was.
I hear you.
Oh my god.
I love that the civilians in the only criticism I see of this movie most commonly is that people got what Nolan was doing. He was purposefully not giving soldiers like the backstory that you're used to with like, I remember back home with my missus. They're not doing that here because the goal is all the soldiers want to leave. That's the goal. Just understand that. So the only people that he gave motivations were the civilians because you have to explain why the hell this old guy and his son would go on this suicidal mission basically to rescue soldiers because they're civilians. They have no they have no reason to do that other than their own goodwill. And they kind of explain it by the end, but that's the point. Like that's soldiers' motivations already explained by the fact that they're soldiers and they need to leave. It's already explained. I liked that risk. It was a risk and I liked it. But some people didn't, obviously. They wanted more from the characters. I didn't care for that. So I mean, I've seen it all.
I don't think you needed characters in this movie and arcs and stuff like that. Like that's like you didn't need that. And that's the kind of brilliance of this movie is that it exists kind of without all that stuff. Even though you do have characters you can attach yourself to that kind of move the overall story along, there's not a lot of like this character is going through something and growing from it, and then we'll go through a change and a metamorphosis. No, there's none of that. You know?
I did like watching the other pilot watch Tom Hardy from that boat.
Yeah,
and just how amazed he was at some of the things that he was doing up there. Like
he's the best.
Yeah, exactly. That was really cool.
Well, and every time he looked up there, he had that look on like, don't worry, guys, like he's got our back. You know, like I'm not too worried about the situation right now. Yeah, a lot of confidence. And I had to look it up. Whenever they kept on saying like you can practically see it from here, you literally can practically see it from there.
Yeah.
The channel is not far at all. You know, I think it's like
people
26 miles or something like that. Yeah, people swim it. Yeah, people swim it to work out or
that's
whatever.
That's why Cillian Murphy's character, who doesn't have a name by the way, that's why he was kind of like, guys, you'll be fine. It's the water. You can swim. Because it's not that big.
Yeah.
It kind of is, but it isn't. You know, like they did a good job of covering how the boats took like a whole day. So there is some kind of scale there. It's kind of a long way, but you can see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great movie. I can't wait to see it in full dome IMAX. That's my plan. That's my plan for sure.
That would be so cool.
I will trek out to Fort Worth at the Omni and see it full domed and get dizzy as shit during the aerial scenes.
Yeah, God. It's like, man, it's one of the best directed movies ever, man. It's really so fucking good.
And of course it's Nolan. So
yeah, of course it is. And if you don't like Nolan and his heavy expositionary storytelling, this ain't that.
Yeah, so, exactly.
Go watch.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing when people like complain about the way that he. There's some lines in Inception where it does it too, and I adore that movie. Where like, what Ariadne will ask Dom like a question it's like an emotional question about Maul and stuff, and then like the next second she'll be like, are you killing his subconscious? And he's like, no, I'm just shooting the projections. And I'm like, that just came out of nowhere. That just came out to fucking explain things. Anyway, I still adore that movie though.
Well, you have to because that movie's so high concept that like you have to check in like, okay, idiots.
Obviously, he's not killing that part of what's his name subconscious, or else the dream would fall apart. Whatever.
Right. Yeah.
You should have been able to gather that, I guess. But yeah. Anyway, Dunkirk though kind of removes all of that because Interstellar does a lot of it, especially at the end with Cooper and TARS talking to each other.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You have to. No one knows what any of that is. You have to.
You do. Yeah. Even if Cooper's just kind of guessing, you have to kind of do that. anyway,
It's
Dunkirk
people
removes
just have a hard,
so
people just have a hard on for hating that type of stuff.
I agree. And if they hate this movie, it's like he literally gave you what you wanted out of the last. Like you wanted less, and he gave you less.
Whatever he does next, and from everything he's learned from this movie, is going to be fucking spectacular. It'll be his best movie ever. It's
oh
gonna be
man,
fucking amazing.
I hope it's a.
Do we know what his next project is?
No clue.
I
Okay.
hope it's James Bond. That's what I really hope.
Yeah, me too.
Oh.
I kind of want it to be
Yeah,
his
really.
Bond though, not Daniel Craig, but I want it to be like
Yeah, me
His
too.
Bond.
Me too.
Tom Hardy is a villain or something. His Bond,
Yeah.
not Bond.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy's a little. I don't know what it is about him as Bond. I just don't picture it.
I'm
No,
on
I don't
team
want
Idris Elba
Yeah.
for Bond. I think that would be
I'd see the
fucking
shit out of that.
sweet.
I'd do that.
Oh,
yeah, me
yeah.
too. Yeah.
Anyway, so back to the number 3. Dunkirk's great. Go see it, everybody. If we spoiled it, I mean, whatever. Just go watch the movie because it's a historical moment. So I mean, there's Wikipedia spoils it too. Anyway, number 3 for me is Fury, and I pushed that from Kyle.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was my number 9.
Yeah,
really
yeah, it was both of our number 9s. Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh,
You guys
yeah, you
synchronized.
we
Yeah.
Yes.
So I ruined
You
it.
really like this.
Totally ruined it. I saw this
Yeah, you
movie
ruined it.
once in theaters, and it had that much of an impact on me. It literally,
Wow.
really did because
Never watched it again.
no, I haven't watched it again, and I feel like I need to, but at the same time I don't because I got what I wanted out of that movie. Like I got exactly what the movie was telling me.
Dude, it's a good movie.
It's a really fucking great movie.
Yeah, it's a great
Yeah,
movie.
and David Ayer, the guy who did Honka Honka Joker, David Ayer did this movie. That's crazy to me. Anyway,
Yeah. You know what? Is it though? Because watch Savages, and you're like, oh no, he may be just a bad director who kind of has some hits sometimes.
I'm sure that. Well, I was gonna say I'm sure that Brad Pitt chose this because he doesn't really choose bad movies, but Will Smith. Yeah, well, whatever. Anyway, you
Yeah.
can't use that as an example because sometimes big stars make bad choices. Anyway, I think this movie highlights more of the struggle to separate who you were before the war from who you need to be during the war, and I think no other movie really does that. I mean, there's a couple others that we'll talk, or at least one other that I'll talk about that kind of touches on it, but this one's all about that. You know what I mean? And Logan Lerman's character, I can't remember any of the character's name except for War Daddy. Is that his name? Brad Pitt's character.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't remember any of the characters' names, but Logan Lerman goes in there. He's just kind of doe-eyed and innocent, and still bringing with him his, humanity that he was raised with. And War Daddy's just basically trying to turn him into a murdering monster. There's that awkward scene where he's basically telling him to kill a Nazi right there.
Yeah.
The Nazi's like done. You know what I mean? Like the Nazis might as well be waving a white flag. That's a great scene. I mean, it's really more about trying to find the balance and how really it kind of leaves it open ended. There isn't one. There isn't a balance. Sometimes you just got to kill, and sometimes you got to sit down with some nice German women and have some dinner. And
Yeah, I like that scene a lot.
exactly, me too. That's what I love.
Yeah.
That came out of nowhere for me. Like how much I love that scene and just the placement of it, and how John Bernthal comes in there basically like a savage, and he's like, "Ugh," like
Yeah.
grunting and shit and just being a dick. And Brad Pitt kind of puts him in his place. He's like, just sit the fuck down. It's such a great scene, dude. Like, oh man, this movie it just brings so much to me, so much more than I expected, especially when I was making this list.
Right.
Great war
Fun
scenes, too.
fact, in the movie The Pilgrimage, you get a lot of really good John Bernthal grunts.
Oh.
Because he's a mute,
That's
so all
right.
he can do is grunt.
and
so,
head rubbing
yeah.
too, of course. You can't forget the shame.
Oh, and a lot of head rubbing. He loves, putting his hands through his frolicky hair. So stressed out about God or whatever.
You can't forget the battle scenes are great too, especially the ending scene where it's like one tank versus an entire fleet of fucking soldiers, and everybody dies.
Good stuff.
And then there's that moment of where it's like a German soldier finds Logan Lerman's character under the tank, and it seems like that soldier's kind of more alike, where it's like he's like, I just joined the war too, and I don't like killing people, but I'm here, and he just kind of leaves him alone. He's just kind of like, okay, you're good. You know what I mean? You're not of a harm to me, so whatever. I'm just gonna leave you. God, there's like layers to this movie, which
Yeah.
if you look at it visually, kind of looks like a Dude Bro movie. If you see Brad Pitt's hair, you're like, yeah, Dude Bro. Like it's.
Oh, yeah. Everybody I hate has that haircut.
But yeah,
So
it
true.
just strikes you as one of those, especially David Ayer, when you hear him talk, you're like, bro, dude, shit, bro, fuck, yeah, fuck. It's just, he's got that personality that makes you want to, not, I don't know, it just makes you want to never watch this
David
movie.
Ayer is a dude bro director.
Yes. But he
yeah,
nails the shit out of this movie. It's great.
He does. Agreed.
Anyway, so that brings us to JD's number 2.
Ooh, this one I put American. No, I did not put an American Sniper at number 2.
God,
Fake
we're gonna
baby.
have some
I did.
words.
I did not do
You're
that.
like, just kidding, Lone Survivor.
That's in my honorable
well-
mentions, actually. Lone
I
Survivor's really
actually
good.
didn't mind Lone Survivor,
Mhm.
but whatever. It's it's not my number 2. It's Full Metal Jacket for me. I imagine
it's
maybe
synchronized.
y'all,
Synchronized.
yeah, maybe. Okay,
Synchronized.
awesome.
I bet we're synchronized at
You too,
number 1
Jeff?
too.
maybe,
Oh, man.
maybe. We'll see.
If we're
You guys
not,
got Tim
we're
Phillips
gonna have
number 1.
words.
My number 1's Enemy at the
Hopefully
Gates.
My really?
No.
My number 1 is The Siege with Denzel Washington.
Nice.
Mine is Last Samurai. Damn it, that's actually a good one.
Oh, fuck off.
That's actually a good one. I'm
7-1 is good stuff.
just gonna go in this
Oh,
submarine real quick.
Submarines real quick. Okay.
I still got to see that movie, honestly.
It's okay.
I heard it was okay, but I still want to see
Keitel's
it.
in, right? I think Harvey Keitel's in that one.
Yeah, whatever. Does he show his dick in it, like in the Bad Lieutenant?
I'm gonna Harvey Keitel show his dick in U571. Oh, that led to some different results. No, I don't think he shows his dick. In
Oh,
that
okay.
movie. But Bon Jovi's in that fucking movie.
Neither of y'all chose that James Franco like Navy movie or whatever. I'm surprised
Why?
it's just not on anybody's list.
Oh, Annapolis.
Annapolis.
No fucking way.
No fucking way.
The movie's bad, dude. Like it's.
I never saw it.
I don't even remember why I did see it. I don't know that anybody recommended it to me. It was just like, fuck it. And I watched it, and I was like, that was terrible.
I want to see Green Goblin be a Navy man.
Such a bad movie. Anyway, let's gab about one of Kubrick's best movies ever.
Man.
I mean, come on. It's okay.
Oh my God, Justin Lin did Annapolis. The guy who did Fast and Furious, whatever. Anyway,
Wow, what? That's
that's crazy. Full Metal Jacket, dude. Iconic. That's the word.
yeah.
That strikes
Two
me.
movies in one.
Yes.
Yes.
And some
Totally.
people are kind of pick on the second part for being lesser than. I think it's just
No.
the first part's
No,
got
it's
that
not lesser
memorable
than.
character, the drill sergeant.
Yeah.
Yes, dude.
But the second
I
part
think
is,
the second part is just as memorable,
Yeah.
and people are fucking high if they say that.
dude. It took them. I think I remember watching the behind the scenes, and it was like a full month to do the scene where they're at their backs are against like a kind of like a concrete little kind of small wall. Because every time they had to reset, they had to like redo the entire buildings because they kept shooting at the walls on the buildings and holes would come out. They had to redo all of it. And you know Kubrick, he does like 80 takes for one fucking thing. So it took a whole month to do that entire sequence where they're outside and the sniper's
Asshole.
pinning them down. There's a
Man.
lot of work that went into this movie, dude. Like, and they shot all this in London, by the way. There's no Vietnam, Cambodia visits whatsoever. Kubrick didn't leave his home country at all. It's like,
Okay.
we're doing this all in London. Find me the most broke down warehouse you can find and put some trees there too.
Wow. Wow. Amazing.
That's awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah, but that sniper sequence is underrated. Like the second half is so underrated.
It really is, yeah. I agree.
We can talk all day about that first half though. It's
I
unreal.
mean, yeah. I mean, it says something. People are like, you know what my favorite part about that war movie was? What? Training to go to war. So I mean, that says a lot, you know. And yeah, there's a lot of iconic moments in that
Yeah.
scene, and a lot of funny moments.
Yeah.
And again, real, you know, that sock and the soap in the sock. People still
a
do
thing.
that. Yeah, that's still a thing.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, it doesn't leave marks. You
Marching
know,
around
so-
grabbing your dick, that's not made up at all.
Yeah, yeah. And we still sing all those Geordies. This is my rifle. This is my gun.
It's
Was that Ermey's breakout role?
Yeah.
I mean, I see he's credited in Apocalypse
he was
Now.
an airport.
on
He was a
IMDb,
helicopter
he's
pilot,
uncredited.
yeah, but he didn't really do
Yeah.
much except literally drive the helicopter. But yeah, he was
Right.
he was hired as a consultant to be a drill sergeant in this, and he outshined completely the guy who was cast. And Kubrick was like, "You're
That's
way better
awesome.
at this."
I remember that.
I love
yeah.
stories like that,
Yeah.
man.
Me too.
I love stories.
The guy
like
who
that.
ended up being the
He's
original.
Like, he's like, wait a minute, just get in the frame. No, get in the frame real quick. Yeah. And then fucking a legend was born because he went on to have like a full-on career.
Yeah.
You know, a
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Kim style career. You know.
I think the guy who ended up being the original drill sergeant was the guy shooting out of the helicopter going, "Get some, get some, get
wow.
some." I think he ended up just transitioning into a lesser role. But yeah, man, that's a career making, and then that's all he does. Like he has a bit part in X-Men: The Last Stand. I don't know how I remember this, where he's like shouting at Marines and shit. I mean, this is all he does now because that's what he did before. So he just took those with him, and he's just better at off the cuff stuff. I mean, half the stuff that they mentioned was in the script, which is kind of crazy for Kubrick because I mean he's very much a stick to what's written type of guy. But in terms of Arlie Ermy, he just kind of let him go, and it worked. And the ripping off your head, shitting down your neck type stuff, all the disses, that's Arlie Ermy, that's coming from him. God damn it, that's so great. And I love Pyle's arc and Vincent D'Onofrio. That put him on the map, that's for fucking sure.
Oh man,
yeah, dude.
He's
Kingpin
fantastic.
me up. Yeah.
Oh my god, I love his ending. That it's so miserable. It's talk about bummer endings, man. I love these bummer endings.
Yeah.
They're so good.
Oh yeah.
Kubrick's the
Well, but
best
they're
at 'em.
realistic to war movies, though, especially. I mean, things don't always end happily. They rarely
And this
do.
is another. People might be confused based on how much war is in it or how much military stuff is in it, but this is an anti-war movie too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fairly. I mean, I feel it's kind of obvious because of how damaged Pyle becomes psychologically, to where he kills his drill sergeant and then kills himself, and then so I mean they're kind of blaming the military complex for there, and also Joker having to kill. Like pretty much, I mean, he killed a sniper without knowing it, but it was like like a teenage girl or something. So it's like,
well, doesn't it say "Born to Kill" on his helmet? And he's got a peace sign on his helmet too, and there's a whole dialogue.
Yeah,
about
it suggests the duality of man or something. Yeah.
Excuse me, the duality of man.
It's totally. I love that. I love that line.
Yeah, me too. It's just it's good. There's a lot to take away from this movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And more reasons to revisit it also because it's just a layered movie.
Oh yeah, love it. I love it to pieces, man. God.
So good, love it. 10 out of 10.
So should we go on to the number one, or does anybody else have anything to say about it?
No, man. Let's do it.
Well. All of our number ones. Let's do it at the same time.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Behind enemy lines.
Jennifer's body.
Oh, I actually went for the real thing. Damn it.
Yeah, Saving Private Ryan. That's the number.
Yeah, Saving Private Ryan.
Let's be fucking real, everybody.
We have a favorite.
This one's kind of obvious, I guess, a little bit, and I don't really feel bad for that because I rewatched this recently and I was like, why the fuck did I have Full Metal Jacket at number 1? I shouldn't feel bad about that, but I kind of did feel dumb for putting it like at number 1 after watching Saving Private Ryan, because that opening scene, I mean, nothing in any of these movies compares to that opening scene.
No.
Nothing. It's crazy.
Nothing.
It's fucking crazy how good that is.
Have we still not recaptured something like that? Like, that's crazy.
Right. That, and on top of that, the character work that they do in this is, it doesn't come off as like cliche like it does in every other movie, where it's like, I'm gonna go home with my wife and do this and that. They have a whole subplot about Tom Hanks' occupation, which I find...
What is it? The ongoing...
Yeah,
that's the most fascinating part I could think of, is that these soldiers back home are doing jobs that are like, I bag groceries or some shit. That's just so fascinating to me, that I'm so glad that they gave it an entire subplot. It's so good. And how he uses it to break up the friction with the group. Oh!
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you get an entire Band of Brothers style, complex, like, brother story in a 2.5 hour kind of, like, time frame or whatever.
Yeah.
Because, like, every death you feel, even, like, Vin Diesel at the very beginning, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, every death, like, it means something, and it means something to somebody because that person was close to that person. And you just kind of start seeing everybody losing, their brothers, and... man, by the end of that movie, there's like nobody standing.
Yeah, I know, nobody's
like, everybody's dead except fucking Upham. You
got
He's
Upham, yeah.
Yeah.
And that dude made some mistakes.
A lot of really good stuff. He makes some major mistakes. He kind of has one of it's like I would call it a haunting scene because with the Jewish character. And like the German that they let go kind of gets up there and like kind of stabs him to death.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Fighting for his life, he kind of realizes the tide's turned. He's like, oh no, like don't, like wait, please, and then slowly gets stabbed in the heart, and it's haunting.
The Chandler's roommate, that guy, that's who it is.
Yeah,
permanently Chandler's roommate.
No, he's always the Hebrew Hammer.
Oh, okay.
He's always the Hebrew Hammer. Yeah. A lot of great stuff in this movie, and the stuff where they're just being able to sit down and talk about like the French song, like what the fuck, like that move, like that would be such a stupid scene in any other movie, but like it belongs in this movie, and every scene is earned in this movie, and a lot of people died just because Matt Damon could get home to his dead mom, but whatever.
And I honestly I felt the reasons that Matt Damon gave for. It didn't feel like a dickish move to say, I'm going to stay here with my men. The argument that he made for it didn't feel discompassionate or, like, inconsiderate.
No, not at all.
In fact, it kind of made me respect him a little bit more.
Why me?
Nathan Fillion has a great role as the mistaken Private Ryan.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Like, he's crying so hard and selling the shit out of that. It's great.
Totally.
Oh, man.
More of that. Give him more roles.
Absolutely.
That guy's a leading man. Why is he like stuck in TV?
I know.
Like...
Thank God Castle's over. I mean, I wish he could find like more movie work, man. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Dude, seriously, fuck Castle. Once I realized that show was a prison for Nathan Fillion, I was like, man, fuck this show. Like, I will not continue to watch this. I like the first like few seasons of that show, and I watched it really animately, and then I realized I'm like, this is just keeping him super busy. Like. He's like meant for so much more than a fucking procedural show where he's a novelist, fuck that.
That's anyway, the great movie. I love all the characters. Giovanni Ribisi is the medic. It's one of the most tear-jerking
Tom
deaths.
Sizemore's really good in it, too.
Tom Sizemore, God.
Tom Sizemore.
Before he fell off on the deep end, He is so good in this movie. Ed Burns, he's fantastic in it, too, as the, he's kind of antagonistic, but it's justified, I mean... Emotions are high when you're at war, so I get it. Especially when you have like one mission, and the mission is kind of like, in your eyes, a little stupid, because you're there to fight Nazis, I mean, and then you're told, go get this guy because I don't want his mom to be sad. I mean, that's
exactly. What?
Granted, the commanding officer who said, "Hey, go do that," he gave, he did the Lincoln speech, and it was powerful, and I got it. I get it. I understand it, especially when you have like 4 sons die on the same fucking day. That's crazy. The character work though, it's Spielberg, man. It's Spielberg at his best, in my opinion. Like, because you have a giant cast of characters, and you're having to, give us a reason to care about every single one of them, and you fucking do it. Oh man, dude kills it. So that's it. That's our top 10. Let's make the 16. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Good.
All right, so
Saving Private Ryan's number 16.
So yes, Saving Private Ryan and Full Metal Jacket are 1 and 2. I did not take down anybody's list as they were saying it, unfortunately, but we'll work it out. So Dunkirk, I think, should be next because it's like 3, 4, 5 for us. Sense. So I think it kind of makes sense. Other than that, it's like kind of a toss-up because like we all have different ones in different places.
Right.
JD, what was your 3?
Platoon was my number 3.
Yeah, that's my number 4.
That's
so
my
maybe
6.
Platoon.
So let's do Platin. Not Patton, which is way too fucking long. It's good. Like George C. Scott is great in it, and the opening monologue's iconic. But Jesus Christ, move along. What's your 4 again, JD?
Schindler's.
Oh my
was
God,
number
that's
4.
such a good movie. Holy shit. All right. I think I'm gathering it. I'm filling in with German movies now. So we have Platoon at 4. I have Fury at 3. JD has Schindler's List at 4, and Kyle has Black Hawk Down at 4.
Black Hawk Down at 5 for me.
Oh, 5? What was your...
Platoon was
that's
4.
Right. I'm sorry. I have that mixed up. I was trying to do that off of memory. We can do... Black Hawk Down for me and Kyle. I had it at 7.
Black Hawk's Down.
Black Cock Down. Get it?
There's definitely not several porns that actually exist. Knocking
it shouldn't be called Black Cock Up, if that's the case. Whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It probably should. Maybe it already exists. I don't know.
But maybe that they're getting down. That's where the down comes from.
Oh yeah, because you got to get up to get down.
You gotta get up to get.
Gotta get up to get down.
I totally get the reference. So should we go? The next commonality is, I guess it's Fury. Because I have it at 3.
Yeah, we could do,
You guys have it at
we could
9.
do furry.
We got it. And no,
Well, we do have Apocalypse Now ahead of that. So we could just do Apocalypse
We could
Now
do Apocalypse
and then
Now.
Fury.
We could do Apocalypse Now, then furry. Yeah.
Got it.
furry.
The brave tale of people just trying to fuck each other the way they want to.
Hashtag no judgment.
So more back.
Yeah.
In a tank. They got to be doing.
All
it in a
right.
tank.
Fury is number 7. So number 8 we have Braveheart. I forgot about Braveheart. So we
Okay.
can do Braveheart
Okay.
at,
Do Braveheart next.
what was that? 8. And we're about to have our first matchup here. As soon as we land on one. Shit. We should go Schindler's List because JD had that pretty fucking high.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll go Shin's
Well,
list.
do your Kubrick movie that neither of us had ever seen, Paths of Glory?
Yeah, we'll do that
Yeah?
after 9 because that was my 5.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
All right, so Paths of Glory. Nobody's ever seen it anywhere in the world. Certainly wasn't praised when it came out. Just kidding. People fucking love that movie, actually. But guess what? If I didn't sell this right before, it's an hour and a half. You guys can watch it like right now, and you won't feel like,
nice.
oh, I'm so exhausted. It's not a typical Kubrick movie in that sense.
Kubrick.
Okay.
All right, so Paths of Glory, that's accounted for. Apocalypse Now, I have Thin Red Line. Oh, man, everything else has been accounted for me. Thin Red Line's my only one left. And Kyle, you have Kingdom of Heaven and The Patriot. JD has a bunch of German bullshit.
They're good.
They are, they're
movies.
good.
Fuck off.
Das Boot's good. We can put Das Boot because you have that higher. So
Let's do Das Boot next.
Das Boot! I
Sweet.
just remember Family Guy doing a bit about that.
I know.
It was like they didn't know what the plot was, so
then-
they just said Das Boot!
And then maybe The Patriot, since you had it as an on-man.
Yeah, I love The
Did
Patriot,
you?
dude.
Yeah, that's an on-man for me
Yeah.
as well. So yeah,
Okay.
I like that movie a lot.
And Kingdom of Heaven.
Do the other German movie, then
Oh,
Kingdom of
Downfall. Then Kingdom of
Downfall.
Heaven.
Yeah.
Heaven. Down the fires.
I'm gonna put DC so it's clear that it's the director's cut. It doesn't. I mean, it's not gonna win. But
It's also a part.
so we have Good Morning Vietnam. That's the last. Well, Thin Red Line and Good Morning Vietnam.
Do Thin Red Line next.
Yeah, Thin Red Line.
Man, people are gonna be like, 15? Really? Guys, settle down. That movie's fine.
Yeah, the movie's fine. You know, it's not fucking Saving Private Ryan or Full Metal Jacket. That's for sure.
It's beautiful though. It's one of the best shot war movies ever made. That's for
I
sure.
think it's great. I think it's fine. I think it's fine.
Guys, it's fine. We have our 16. It's gonna be brutal for a lot of these movies. It's gonna be a bloodbath battle scene, just
Does that
straight
really
out
fill
of
out 16? We didn't have to pull any on ones?
Hacksaw Ridge.
Damn.
Yeah, we just accounted for all of our 10. Man, that's it. We just did it.
Wow.
Did you guys like Hacksaw Ridge?
It's
I
okay.
didn't see it.
I haven't seen it either. I got turned off by the y'all were out there siding people or killing people. I'm gonna be out there siding people.
Yeah,
Whatever that
I-
was. Like that accent just fucking killed any desire.
do what I
had
gotta do. I'm
to
just gonna
say.
do it with God's love.
I'm just gonna do it over here.
I'm
Hey,
gonna go out there. I'm gonna spread the joy of Jesus. Or he was Jewish.
he sounded like a young like Southern
Yeah.
Baptist apprentice.
But I had it in my honorable mentions for a while, only because of that dude's story. But then I realized it wasn't because of the movie; it was because that dude's story is just so extraordinary.
Yeah.
The movie is like very traditional in terms of like Braveheart. When you think of that, it's kind of like, you know, oh, he's a kid, and now he's an adult. It's just the same old biopic shit that you've seen before. Except Braveheart kind of did it when it was like still fresh. You know what I mean? And Hacksaw Ridge was like, okay, dude, we've seen this before. Like, you're not
Yeah, Hacksaw Ridge came out last year.
exactly. And the battle scenes are so violent; it's sometimes cartoonish. Like it's like I saw an out of context battle scene for once during I think it was like an honest trailer for something, and they showed one of the battle scenes, and it was like just two dudes yelling at each other's face while they're getting shot up. And it's like blood just going. It's so fucking cartoonish, dude. It's crazy. And I get the point. Like, you're trying to intimate that, you know, no matter how brutal it is, you still got this guy out there who refuses to pick up a gun, and that's great. Like
Right.
the message, but damn, dude, like it's fucking. It's just, it's not realistic, like at all. Anyway,
not at
that's
all.
our 16 will be posted on our Facebook, Entertournament of Champions, and you can find us on iTunes as well, and Google Play and YouTube if you wanted to watch a picture while we talked. So RIP to MS Paint. I'm gonna miss you. And find me at Jeff Whitty, WIDDY. Stay tuned for next week. We're gonna put these movies against each other for no reason other than fun. So is anybody, Kyle? Did you want to tell people where you are and shit like that, or?
Nah.
Okay.
No, you can find me at sub-culture.com or our Twitch channel, which is sub_cultured. About to start a Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep thing, so that should be interesting.
Nice.
I'm gonna start play from the beginning.
That's totally not a phone call, you guys. Just
Yeah, it's totally not my work phone or anything like that.
It's totally not happening right now. JD, hey, where are you located? I don't know.
I'm currently actually in my bedroom.
Oh,
true story.
Awesome.
That's
so that's
really
where people
about
can
it.
find you is your bedroom. All right.
Pretty much.
Nice.
Well,
So stay tuned for that next episode, guys. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.